And we're back, Black Dads Lives, but with a bit of a twist this week. So yeah, you're here with myself, Anton.
And it's me, Dash, my son's favourite dad, and we're back.
And it's me, Carlos. Good to have you back, guys.
You know the vibes, you know who the fuck it is. It's your boy, Young Idris. Cheese!
Energy. Okay, I like that.
You don't know. That's what we're here for, man.
It is. And then today we've got a special guest, one of my friends, good friends, Will, who's joined us, just to give us a bit of a different perspective. So I think it was good to get Will involved this week. Sorry, first of all, I'll let you just say hello, Will. You know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Will.
That's what I was about to say.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was just cutting him up in it. I was cutting him up. First of all, let me just run around then.
Name, man.
I know. Thank you, Will. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. I'm gonna just go around and just ask everyone how their week's been or how they've been since the last pod. So how have you been? Let's start off with you, Idris. We never start off with you.
Yeah, I've been good, man. I can't lie, man. God is good. God is good. And I'm being genuine. I just want to say I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling blessed. I'm optimistic and excited for the future. So at this very moment in time, you know what? I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
That's good to hear, man. I like that positive energy.
Yeah, man. Long may it last. Long may it last.
What about you, Will? How are you feeling this week?
I think this week, a weight's been lifted really with the restrictions and whatnot, with things that are going on. So yeah, really good to see people out and about again, and finally, not quite full normality, but a little bit of normality coming back, and you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. So yeah, good times. Yeah,
beer gardens are open again, and outdoor eating,
and football, and yeah, swimming pools and gym.
Yeah. No, it's true that it's good. It's all coming back. What about you, Dash?
Yeah, I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of a lot of things, but I'm glad that the gym is open again because I've just been getting it in. Like, yeah, every other day, making sure I go. Been exercising just to keep my mental health in the right place. But yeah, I'm out here surviving. That's the main thing.
But at first you was a bit negative. What you tired of? What's been happening across the pond, or?
I just life in it, just tired in it. Because I've been going back to the gym, my body is just tired in it. And plus, obviously, with working, having little man as well, I'm just feeling a bit exhausted at this moment of time. But like, the show just must continue in it. We just have to keep on riding.
Facts.
Big. What about you, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Well, I was saying before, it's been a bit of a crazy night sleep pattern thing that Remy's decided to go on with for the last week or so, and it's just continuing to now. So exhausting, and it is getting better in the sense for the country, in the sense of the easing of some of the lockdown restrictions, because work's just asked me to come back, which is good because it's getting back a bit more normal, but bad because I don't want to be back in the office. I'd rather work at home. But, you know, pays the bills, so can't really complain.
It's a bit of normality. Do you know what, though? It's weird, though. I actually like leaving the house and going to the office, you know, just to do a bit, rather than being stuck in. Because I started to get a bit of cabin fever, just being stuck in the house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. More time you don't even go anywhere. Obviously, if you're working at home, then in reality, where you're actually going. But I like the fact that I like doing it half and half, because I go into the office probably once a week, you know what I mean? But obviously, it just gives me a bit of normality of going, like leaving the house to go to work, rather than, you know, when you just wake up, stroll out of bed, and you just start working.
Yeah.
That's longer than actually getting up and go traveling to work, I think.
Yeah, but you're seeing different faces as well, though, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's really important to separate your home life to your work life as well. And you know, when you're leaving the office at the end of the day, you're putting it behind you. And I just think it's really. I mean, the same with the gym as well. I mean, I've got dumbbells at home. I tell you, they've been lifted up by me kids more than me. I go to, you know, when I go to the gym, I go and I work hard. But you know, I just look at them and I'm like, yeah, no. Easy, you know, I've got snacks in the fridge, a couple of beers in it. Nah, I'll never day. But I think separating it all out, your gym, your work, your home life, I think it's really good to get that kind of routine. I think the thing is that I would say is the negative about going to work is the traveling to work. If work was 2 minutes away, I don't think anyone would have much of an issue going back, would they? It's a traveling. The time, that half an hour each way that you're losing traveling is the ball ache.
But true, and the fact that the roads have got busier.
Oh, mate.
Roads
Definitely.
Roads
Don't you think it's dumb, yeah? I'm not sure about where you are, but like they've had the whole lockdown to have done roadworks, but it's only now that all these roadworks are just commencing. It's just crazy. Yeah. Like no one was leaving the house, and yet they only just decided to do it right now.
Yeah,
like,
madness.
Yeah.
Foolish. But anyway, yeah, the reason why we've got Will on today is because I wanted you to touch on black versus white stereotypes. And it's nothing really serious. It's just like something that we can have a bit of a laugh with. If there's more serious ones that you guys come up with or think about, then that can be said, obviously. We're all quite open. Will's very open. So it'll just be interesting. And basically, instead of doing a black versus white thing, and then it's just us four black people talking about it, I thought it would be a bit more refreshing to get a white person on it as well, if I'm honest. So yeah, thank you for joining us, Will, man. Again, it's much appreciated. I don't know if you guys have already thought of any. Like, obviously, we've discussed this already, but the one that normally comes up straight away is black people can't swim. Now, first of all, I just want to get rid of that myth because not all black people can't swim, because I'm actually a strong swimmer. But can you, man, swim?
Yeah.
Are you actually a strong swimmer? Like when you say you're a strong swimmer, what do you mean? Do you mean with armbands and that, or without armbands?
Nah, I'm a strong swimmer and I'm fast. I'm not going to be doing, like when you see them people just doing lengths after length after length, like up and down the pool. That's not me, innit? Like,
okay.
I might do, so I could do like 2 or 3, or if my life was depends
so you're not strong then, innit?
Yeah, it's like
what you're saying is, if the ship crashed in the port, you'd be all right.
Yeah. Obviously, any of us out to sea not swimming back, let's be honest. But what I'm talking about is like, I'm not in for the marathon swimming. Like running, yeah, I can 100 meters, that's me in it. But then when it starts to get a bit deeper, like how you man would be when you run like Carlos doing cross country and all them things when we was younger, I could never do that, and I couldn't do that now. But I'll still say that I'm a strong runner.
No. You definitely. I
think your problem, Anton, is that you're playing fast and loose with this word "strong." Like, I really think that's your problem. I don't think you understand actually what a strong swimmer is. Okay, so me, on the other hand, Anton, I would say I am a strong swimmer. Okay, because I've done my lifeguarding badges. I've got my water skills badges. I've got my thousands of meters badges. I've got a fucking swimming trunk full of badges, bro. Like, and that's me. Like, swimming trunk full of badges, bro. That's how you know you're not a strong swimmer. That's how you know you're not a strong swimmer.
Oh, you man, so all your badges onto your swimming trunk.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went swimming, Jason?
Probably before the lockdown. So I'm looking to go this week. To be
Is that something that you do regularly, though? Is it?
Yeah, man. I enjoy swimming. Yeah.
Okay. So then that's what I'm saying. I could say you can say you're a strong swimmer.
Yeah.
You can do multiple levels, not
I mean,
one.
I mean, I could
didn't say
easily
one or
do a
two,
good
innit? I
20,
could do more than
30
two.
M's back to back with no stop. Anton's saying he can do 2, or 3 if his fucking life depended on it.
I said,
It's absolute.
Bruh, let's just correct what I said. Yeah, I said 3 or 4, innit?
Yeah,
3
but
or
hang
4.
on. What length swimming pool are we talking about here?
Let's talk about Olympic.
How long is that, Anton?
All I know is that when I've been on holiday, with the family, we can go in the sea and we can go swimming in it, and then I can bring it back. Get me? I can tread water. I can swim. I don't know the names, but I can do the. I can put. Is it the butterfly?
No, that's
breaststroke, man.
I could breaststroke. What's that one?
Front crawl.
Front crawl.
You look like you're on Soul Train here, mate, with them.
Yo.
You know, you're just going on to a different stereotype there, Will, because you're just jealous, mate. Because as a white man, and you dance, that's another one, innit? White people can't dance.
I'd say the limit to my dancing is probably the cha-cha slide. Honestly, it's nothing.
What?
That's only because the song is your instructions. There's more rhythm in CPR than me, honestly.
Man.
Oh, shit.
But I've seen some decent white dancers in my time, but not me. No chance. I'd say on average, no.
On average, no. I was going to say, don't get me wrong, I've seen the odd decent white dancer as well. But the majority of the time when I've been out, sometimes white guys they'll miss the odd beat.
What you have to remember with a stereotype, it's like, obviously you always have exceptions to the rule, innit?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
obviously, like we're talking about, black people can swim. Anton clearly can't. Jason can't.
Yeah.
I can swim, man.
That's how it works, isn't it?
You know what then? Maybe I was a bit hasty, obviously because of what I'm classing myself as a strong swimmer, innit? Oh, I can swim.
You compare yourself to your children.
I'm comparing myself to people, that you see out swimming. You get me? I can swim. I can hold my own.
You're right, Jordash. You are right. He's comparing himself to his children.
Nah. Do you know what? I'm not, because my kids can swim better than me. My kids are like fishes, but they've been.
You're not a strong swimmer, are you, bro?
Yeah, I am, man.
Man, stop it.
You know what? Anyway, corrected myself on that and said maybe I might not be a strong swimmer, but I can swim in it.
Okay, being able to swim and being a strong swimmer are 2 very different things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then. Do you know what? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I'm a strong swimmer. I remember when I went.
If the boat tips over here, there's a strong possibility that you won't make it.
There's a strong possibility that nobody will make it.
But it's stronger for you. You know what I'm saying? It's stronger chance that you're not getting to shore. You know what I'm saying?
How far are we talking from shore?
Realistically,
listen, you've got 4 lengths in you. You've got 4 lengths in you, bro. It's got to be under 100 meters, isn't it? Why you're fucked?
If we just let you talk, you'd argue for yourself. You're not a strong swimmer. So you've already confirmed it, and you're 4 lengths, mate. Nah.
Yeah, you know what?
You can swim.
Okay, I can swim. I'm just not an endurance swimmer.
Okay, you know Eddie the Eagle, no?
Yeah,
No.
Was that what he was called? That guy?
You're black you.
Eddie the Eagle, the ski jumper, innit?
Yeah, it was Eddie the Eel, man. He was the eel.
Eel, that's
Eddie
it.
the Eel,
Eddie the Eel. I'm not saying sure he was a ski jumper.
Yeah, Eel, man.
Eel from the Olympics, the swimmer.
Swimmer for the Olympics, yeah. That's Anton. But you probably can swim better than Anton for it, because obviously he got to the Olympics, so he must be able to swim in it.
Yeah, but Anton can swim better than his children, so. take that, Eddie.
Nah, that's just me bigging up my children because they're very good at swimming. Very, very good at swimming.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they're better than you and you are a self-confessed,
Nah, do you know what? Obviously,
strong
do you know what?
swimmer,
Like I've just said, yeah, I'm joking with that. I'm very good at swimming. My kids, they have the lessons. I want to big them up because they often try and take sneak peeks of the podcast. You get me? So, yeah.
All right, so big up Anton's children, yeah?
You're good at swimming, kids.
Yeah. I mean, if you're so young and you're already better than your dad, then I pretty much think the sky is the limit as far as swimming goes for you guys.
Well, to be fair, for my children, the sky's the limit no matter what they want to do.
Facts.
I'll be honest with you, the water limit's probably the limit, isn't it? If we're talking about swimming.
But what if you're Nessie?
That's it.
Then there's no limit.
Right, do you know what? Do you know what? None of yous are making it back.
All right, listen, Anton, all right, stop, bro. Listen, what else are you good at?
What do you mean?
What else
So
are you strong at?
Anton's presuming that because obviously the stereotype what you just relayed across the world about white people not being able to dance, that means Anton can dance, innit?
Anton, can you dance?
Come on now.
No. Can you dance?
Yeah, of course I can dance.
No.
100%. I've got rhythm and I can dance.
Are you a strong dancer?
Joker. Yeah, I'm a strong dancer. I can dance.
You know what? I don't believe anything Anton says anymore.
I'm with you, Dash. I'm with you.
You know what though? Do you know what's
I can't
mad,
imagine
Dash?
Anton being a good dancer.
No, but Dash, do you know what's mad though? You're going on like you've not seen me dance before.
I know you can
dance.
I know you can dance, yeah, but you're funny.
You man just like taking the piss out of me. That's all it is.
I've seen him. He's a strong dancer. He's got 2 or 3 doubles.
Do you know
what? Okay, move on. So come on, have you guys got a stereotype to throw out there?
Nah, hold on. Can everybody else on this pod dance?
Me? I can't dance. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm one of them.
I listen, big for all in it, man. Big for all in it. What about you, Carlos? Can you dance, bro?
I think I can dance a bit.
Yeah.
When he's got liquor in his system,
Do you need to drink before you dance?
Don't talk to me about Carlos dancing, bro.
I'm all about dancing.
When Carlos is drunk, dancing is the funniest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Especially when he pulls out the sweat rag.
Get lost. I don't know.
Well, obviously, it depends what you're dancing to, innit? Like,
it depends on the music. If you're feeling it, then yeah.
I can dance and that. Like, obviously, like it's just standing. But I won't go up and say I'm a strong dancer. I can dance.
Yeah. I mean, everyone can two-step, innit? Everyone can two-step.
Everyone can two-step. Well, you can two-step, innit?
Everyone can two-step, bro.
Oh
yeah,
no,
I'll be all right two-stepping. Yeah.
Like Anton, do you think because you can two-step that makes you a strong dancer, or
Well,
I'm just saying what everyone can do. I'm not saying
but that make you a strong dancer because you can two-step.
No,
but there's levels to dance, you know.
That's what I'm saying. If you can two-step to the beat, then you're on your way. You're on the right track.
So how are you spicing up the two-step?
What do you mean?
Because what are you doing?
If you can bring
you see the shoulders move then. You see the shoulders.
Yeah.
You can bring the shoulders into it. You get me? You can bring the hips into it.
Okay.
So if you can wind up your body, then you know what I'm saying. Then you can. You're all right. You're on the right track.
Anton, you're out here in the clubs whining.
Nah, where I don't. Do you know what? I can't remember last time I went to a club. And this was pre-lockdown.
Have you ever twerked?
No. Wow. When would I be twerking? Have you ever twerked?
Have I ever twerked?
Yeah.
No, I haven't got much junk in my trunk, Anton.
That means it's definitely tried, you know. That means it's definitely tried, you know.
I know what I'm saying.
He said, Nah.
I'm not serious out here trying to learn how to twerk. I'm not like Anton who's fucking watch YouTube tutorials on it. So, you know,
I don't need to watch YouTube to learn how to dance though. Still.
how to twerk, bros. I'm
What
talking
about you?
about twerking.
Idris, you're not mentioned about you. Can you
I
dance?
am a phenomenal dancer, bro. Phenomenal.
What makes you a phenomenal dancer?
The girl them tell me.
What girl? Your wife?
Nah, before her, bruv.
What,
I was
the guy in the strip club?
the guy in the club. I was the guy
How
in
was
the
you
club making.
How was you dancing in the strip club? Oh, well, by the way, Idris and Carlos, they spent most of their youth in a strip club. They had a gold card and stuff, VIP.
Nah.
Yeah, you did, right? It's all over your podcast. What you on about? Why are you saying it?
Anton, what you on about, bro?
Dash.
Yo,
Am I lying, or
He's
have
not
these men
actually
said
lying
that they
this time.
start at the beginning of the night in a strip club?
Yo, before you went to the shops, you
I
went to
remember.
strip club, man.
I remember this.
Thank you. Thank
Fake
you.
news.
Well, do you know, like most normal people, yeah, like probably you know what I mean? Because everyone's been strip clubs, yeah. You probably go at the end of the night, you know, when you're drunk and everywhere else is closed, but the strip club's still open. So you might go to a strip club or whatever on an occasion. These man, yeah, went to a strip club before they went out.
I've never been to a strip club, guys. I think this might be another stereotype to add in. Yeah, go on, yeah.
Whatever, man. Stereotypes. Anton, go on, give us another one, bro.
Oh, I've got another one, right?
Go on.
So, stereotype that black parents are more stricter than white parents. So, when I was growing up, yeah, and I was getting brought up, and you can tell me whatever, check me on this, Will, yeah, but I would be scared, yeah, to mess with my mum and dad. But I know some of my white friends, yeah, they could do hellish shit at school and not be worried about the consequences. Like nothing's gonna happen to them when they get home.
Nah, I don't like in our house. My mum, you ain't getting away from her, no way, no chance.
Oh, was she strict then? Yeah.
Well, just like, I mean, obviously, if you give her, it won't be. You'd be scared of her hand, but it won't be that. It'd be a slipper or something. If you get,
okay.
As soon as you get through the door, you're licked at the side of your head, like.
Cool.
I think
so.
I think that's probably my secret skill, though, you know, because I was really, really good at. I was like really academically good at school and really good, and I had the ability to piss about but know the answers and stuff. So that, you know, so say you're at school and you're like, teacher goes, okay, he's not listening. Will, what's the answer? And 16. They go, fair enough. Mark, what's the answer? No, that's wrong. Do you know what I mean? But our school was pretty strict, so you'd be getting a phone call home if you was pissing about, or like, you know, obviously in our neighbourhood, everyone knows. Like growing up, it's not like nowadays. I don't like round ours now. Is the kids? You're a little bit more wary about letting them run free, if you like. When it was back in our day, it was easy to run around and get into, you call it mischief, but it's like kids mischief. Do you know what I mean? You don't really understand what you're doing, you know. And the word would get home to your mum and dad, and that was it. You was getting they lay the law down, basically. That's it. Like, and I think it's probably missing a bit now in today's day society. In all society, I think. I see some of my friends' kids just going, you know, speaking back even. Like my kids won't speak back to me, no chance.
Yeah,
they brought up with respect, and I certainly wouldn't allow them to speak to the nan or granddad like that neither.
Yeah,
you know. So it's I think there's a lack of respect out there at the moment, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the internet generation. I don't know if it's young kids, because you always blame what you grow up with, don't you? I try to do better than my mum. I try to do better. I try to give my kids what they've not had. And well, no, there's the things that your kid needs is not possessions; it's morals. I think. Yeah. And so I think you're doing a disservice for your child if you let them get away with everything, in my opinion. But,
yeah.
No, you're right. Because that's why, to be fair, I would say that I'll be quite strict with mine, but then I spoil them as well in the same breath, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then my kids, I would say that they're well behaved, and most people would say that they are when they come across them. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And well mannered. Do you know what I mean? They always have the P's and the Q's and how to speak to people. So, and that's something that you pride yourself on, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly. Like my children, really, really pleasant people. Really pleasant little boys and girls. So, you can't really ask much more for them. But I think what it is. And by the way, I'm not advocating like I don't know what you guys go into, but I'm not advocating like clipping them or like that, like my mum did with me. Like I'm not advocating that, but there's got to be some stern consequence to their action, because if they can't respect the consequence, then I think that's where kids are getting away. Like I think that's where you probably perceive white people's like lack of respect towards a man, because they're just not scared of the consequence that's coming.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's environmental as well, because obviously, depending on where you're growing up with and how you are raised, like obviously, no matter what race you are, if you're growing up in a community, then more time people are going to be acting similar, if you know what I mean. It's only until you go out in those communities and you probably see that the difference in terms of upbringing and whatnot. Because obviously, if in the community, like you might get a clip around the ear or whatnot, and that's just a social norm in that community, that's all right. But then if you speak to someone else from another community, they'll be shocked about that. So that's where, like I said, it's not even necessarily stereotypes then, isn't it? It's more like classism. I
think you've hit the nail on the head. Like where I'm from, like quite I'd probably call a deprived background. When I grew up in I'm from Warrington. I grew up in possibly the worst part in Warrington, to be honest with you. I mean, so much so that have you ever heard of that program, Secret Millionaire?
Yeah.
They come down our end and oh, look at all these poor people. I'm going to help him make bikes and shit like that. And you're like, no, don't help them make bikes, mate. They're going to be having you off as soon as they come off.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's probably like that. But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's different. I think it all goes down to upbringing, and I think you can't help but be a product of your environment. You can't, you don't. There's free will, obviously. You can choose and make your own decisions on what you do in life. However, you are going to be heavily influenced by your environment that you grew up in, and everyone who's touched your life, so to speak. So your parents are the biggest part of your life normally, aren't they? So I think you probably take your guidance off them somewhat.
But then you just touched on it, saying that you don't advocate clipping of your kids or whatnot. Whereas for me, one second, Idris. Right.
He's just sitting still.
He's
I can see his face again.
He's frozen.
He's eating mini eggs.
He's eating them mini eggs, eating out them fun-sized snacks I had from before. So anyway, he should come back. But just on clipping, like, because we in this group here now, we'll probably have different views on what you would do with your children or how you would discipline them. So would you not clip your kids then or smack them in any way?
Yeah. I know this is going to sound a little bit weird, but maybe when they're younger, growing up, like I find it difficult now that they're older. But when I say clip them, I think the extent is like, they're doing something wrong that's going to seriously be detriment to what they're doing, whether it be the character or whether it be they're going to hurt themselves. I don't kind of understand why you do it, because if they're going to hurt themselves, you never got hurt by that, but you got hurt by that. Do you know what I mean? It was it's kind of strange scenario, but yeah, I mean, I've smacked my kids, yeah. But nowadays, like, I mean, my son's 11 now, and you're 11, and I don't know if I've earned the respect from doing that now that I don't have to do that. It's just a word nowadays. Do you know what I mean? And
I was gonna say, because that was my thing. Like, I think with mine, it was when it was very young. Do you know what I mean? Where like when it was toddlers, and it's literally like a little tap saying, "No, don't do that." Whereas like Tyler, because he's gonna be 10 next month, I can't remember the last time I've needed to smack him. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Me just telling him or giving him a certain look, he knows already, and he'll think, oh, and he'll check himself, and then
Yeah.
he'll sort himself out without me having to actually go to the point of smacking him or violence. And then there's tools where I know I could smack him, and then 2 minutes later, that's done, really. Whereas I know what's going to hurt him more if I was to say to him, right, well, do that, and I'm going to take away your iPad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's going to affect him more than me smacking him.
Do you know what my punishment is nowadays for our kids? And it sounds quite simple. I just walk up to the plug socket and turn the router off. That they are all gone, man. I swear to God. I don't know what they're doing online, but they are all gone. That affects all of them, the 11, 14, and 6. And all of them are in the same boat. Don't matter. And sometimes I play them off against each other. I say, if you keep on winding me up, I'm going to turn that off, and that's going to affect you, your sister, and your little brother who ain't done anything either. And then they kind of got to be good as a team, then, innit?
Yeah. Because then they'll start looking at each other.
Yeah. Otherwise, then I don't need to lay down any corporal punishment because my daughter will kill him.
Taking away social media.
Yeah, that's it, innit? Just that they can't play on that. I can't think Fortnite or something they're on, innit, on the PlayStation.
Yeah, so then they'll go mad.
Yeah.
Idris moving mad. Let me remove him from the thing till he's sorted himself back out. I was just about to welcome him back then as well. Oh, he's back. Are you back, man? Are you back in the room?
Yeah, I'm back, but it keeps kicking me out, man. I don't know why. I think my internet's playing up.
All right. See, I hope this doesn't happen when you're on your Twitch, you know.
Yeah, no, it done, man. It's a shame it's happened tonight. So I apologize, gentlemen, but it appears that I'm back for now.
Don't worry about it, man. Well,
yeah.
Look, I don't know if he's back. Look. Oh yeah, he is.
What did I miss?
Guys moving mad, you know.
Yeah, so
you're on that dial up, it's moving crazy.
What is going on, bro? Pissing me off, man.
Nah, you're back.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, you're moving all
right.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're moving all right now. You're back now.
No, my internet's mad slow, man.
Yeah, but you're back now. Now, the only thing you missed, we were just talking about actually punishing your kids. You know, like, would you beat them or like, yeah, that sort of thing. That's all we're talking about. So I was asking Will, like, if he would, because he mentioned about clipping, and that's what he got when he was younger, whether he would do that to his kids. And he's basically saying that maybe when he was younger, but now he doesn't need to do that. And it feels like he's probably gaining respect from them from being younger.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it was along those lines. Am I right there with that, Will?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, it's. I think. Do you know what? It's how. I suppose it's how it comes across. It's a beating. No, when I say a clipping, it's like this is a clip in the right direction for you. Do you know what I mean? This is to curb your wrong path, if you like. It could be something as simple as like I'm trying to think of a scenario now. The last scenario I remember is when we went to like this petting farm or this farm thing, you know, day out for the kids. And my youngest, it was my youngest at the time, Isaac. We was walking around. He's my middle one now, and he was just a toddler. And he's walking around, and he runs into the geese, like the geese, and geese are quite vicious. Do you know what I mean? He start pecking you, but he grabbed one of them by the neck and won't let go. And it was like, man, you gotta get off. Like, do you know what I mean? I didn't really know what to do with it, because I'll be honest with you, like it sounds a bit like degrading now as a quite a big man, but walking in like to a gaggle of geese, it was an uncomfortable situation for me, because I'm like, man, they're gonna peck the shit out of me here now. Do you know what I mean? But I've got to stop this 5-year-old from wringing this geese's neck, because there's about 60 other toddlers here, like starting to cry, and I'm like, this is he's real put me on the spot here now, because we're in a public situation. He's gonna go. I've got to like tap his hand to let him go, because he was like he must have been like a pit bull or something. Like his hands, like
Lockjaw.
yeah. I put a stick in his mouth so he'd release his grip. I didn't know how to handle that situation. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm like, part of Vicky's going, my missus is going, you need to get it off him. I'm like, all right. I'm like, don't worry, I'll get it. And I'm thinking, this ain't a spider in the bathroom. This is 60 bastard geese and the vicious creatures. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure some of them have got teeth.
But that's just funny that because kids, especially at that age, don't have any fear, do they?
That's
you don't even think of the consequences. You just see something with feathers. But I can take
sometimes the consequences of clip is a lot better than the consequence of burning himself or getting hurt or, to steer him in the right direction, so to speak. But as you say, as they get older, they understand the look more, don't they? If he's playing up or something, like, I just look at him like, what are you doing? And he'll be, oh, sorry, let me just check my bad self,
Check my bad self. Yeah, I hear that. I just remember with mine when I was younger that I did smack him. You know what I mean? But like I say, it was just like on the hands or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know now if I had a baby now whether that would change, if that makes sense. Because I just feel like society's probably moved on a bit. But probably Dash, you could probably touch on that more, and Carlos. Do you know what I mean? Because what would you do? Because obviously your kids are younger, innit? Your boys.
Yeah. Obviously, so when I was 2, and I think society has moved on because, like, obviously, I always thought, I probably would because that's what happened to me, innit? Like, obviously, not saying I got like battered or anything along those lines. Just literally got little smacks on my hand and that, just to like, okay, just as a warning, don't do that again. But now, with Sereno, to be fair, I just try and explain things across, and sometimes I think, are you actually understanding what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? But I just try and like break things down, because more time, in my opinion, when kids are acting up, they're acting up for a reason. Obviously, it could be just due to a lack of attention. It could be literally anything. So you have to always put yourself in their position to try and understand where they're actually coming from. Obviously, it must be tough as a little kid if you're trying to explain to people what you want and they're not even understanding what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you can't really communicate to that. So that's why I just try and bear in mind when I'm like dealing with him. Like, yeah, just try and put in my myself. Okay, yeah, if I can't do something, I get frustrated. How do I act? Do you know what I mean? So I want him to be able to actually like learn how to express his feelings, even from a young age. Because if he can do it from a young age, then obviously when he's older, he shouldn't have any problems doing that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, and I think, to be honest with you, I don't think there's a blueprint invented, is it, how to do things. Sometimes you've got to. I kind of look at all aspects, because you just hit the nail on the head there. That sometimes kids are actually just they're looking for attention, or they're looking for for one of their problems. And my kids were all the same as well. And I think the difficulty in explaining is that sometimes they can't always have that attention, depending on the circumstance, And I think that's the difficult thing for a kid to understand, and that's why I think it starts to go towards playing up sometimes. And sometimes I've been a bit quick to judge even my own kids when I say they're playing up, when I say, they're being naughty. Actually, they're not being naughty, they're just not doing as I asked verbatim, and that's probably a reflection on me rather than them.
Yeah.
So because sometimes it's not necessarily like they're being naughty; they're just being kids.
Exactly, and there's got to be a time when you go. There's sometimes when I've said, like, shouted at my own kids and gone, "Can you just be quiet a minute? I just need to just calm down a minute." And I'm like, I think about it 2 minutes later, and I'm thinking, they're just playing. Do you know what I mean? And I go, it's all right, carry on. But I think I just felt the mood by then, innit? So they've got to wait for the Wi-Fi to reset.
I've plugged it out now. We'll be back on in 5.
You're back, and that's what's happening to Jason.
Jason was misbehaving, so his wife just keeps plugging the Wi-Fi in and out.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah, you should have ate all your dinner.
I told you to keep the noise down.
Oh, that was another one when we were younger. Like it was like you can make sure you get all your dinner out, otherwise you'll be eating it for your tea. And you're like, man, it never happened, but that was a kind of threats that were coming. So God knows what their mum and dad were like. If you don't eat for tea, you'll be having it tomorrow. The same thing until it's all gone. I've worked hard cooking this meal. I'm like, all right. It's I'm not very hungry, you know. You're trying to overfeed me, and look at me now. I'm overweight. When I was younger, I used to think it was a good thing finishing a meal, and now you get to a certain age, and you're like, I probably shouldn't have had all them carbs.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you finish, like when you're full, you're full. And I feel
Yeah.
like we do that a lot with our children. Like obviously you put in the effort to make them the food, and then when they don't eat it, you take it
That's
to heart. But
naughty.
in reality, like you're full. So if you were hungry, you'd actually eat, and that's what I keep on just trying to remind myself. Like if you were hungry, there's no way you wouldn't eat.
The difference with my kids is if they don't eat the tea, but they've filled up on like sugar or sweets, then it's a no-go. Do you know what I mean? Then the next day you ain't having them sweets. You know, you eat your veg before you eat your sweets, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's about portion control as well, because like even I would say Tyler, my little son, he's got hollow legs. Do you know what I mean? Because he's just real skinny, he's like a little pole, and he just eats. Like he'll just eat. Do you know what I mean? And like we know you sort of know how much your kid's gonna eat in it. So like you give him the correct portions. Whereas Layla, because she's a little chubber, so with her she overeats. So even when she's full, like Tyler, if he gets full, Tyler will just go, I've had enough now. And you go, all right, yeah, no problem. Whereas Layla, she wouldn't ever say that. She'll just be sat there rubbing her head and just still trying to eat the food. You know what I mean?
Sweat.
Yeah, meat sweats. And you're like, Layla, have you had enough? You don't have to finish it. And she's like, no, I want to finish it. And it's like, no. So me and Laura, because of that, psychologically, all we do is then we've reduced the amount of food that we put on a plate in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense because even like growing up, obviously, cars you can probably vouch for it. Like obviously, yeah, we used to always have to eat our food. So even to like this day, even when I'm full, I'm still eating. I'm like, okay, there's still food. Even if like you haven't finished your food, I'll be like, oh, let me finish your food. I don't want it to go to waste. Do you know what I mean? Like I make sure that plate's clean, but obviously now I just try and like, okay, no, do you know what? I don't have to eat this much.
Yeah. I do that as well. I know I overeat, but Rem is just the polar opposite because he'll look at his food, he'll take a few mouthfuls and be like, right, I'm done. And he just lift it up to give it to you. So you're like, right, yeah, he's done. And even if it's just a little bit of yogurt left or something in the pot, he'll go like that to scoop it up to give it to him. And he'll just be like, no. It's like, okay.
More for me.
One for you.
Give him something like a biscuit or a cake, and he's just like shoving it in.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, can I have some? And he'll just force it in his mouth.
Before you could get any. Yeah.
He does not share his biscuits and his cakes. They're all his, but his meals, he'll let you know when he's done. And it was like, take it. Take it now, or I'm going to throw it on the floor. So he's like, yeah, I'll take it now.
So what are you like then, Carlos, with discipline then? What's your thoughts on that?
It's just, I just play it by ear all the time, you know, because I know when we were small, we were disciplined. Like if we didn't do something right, whereas now it is like society has changed with that. And so between me and Laura, it's like, what do we do? We've got to draw the line somewhere. So it depends what he's done, but there's nothing really that he can do that can make us, like, apart from actually recently, because he's just learned how to walk independently, he doesn't like holding your hand anymore. He used to be like, hold my hand. The only time he wants you to hold his hand actually is when he wants to go to the kitchen to get a snack. Besides that, he's doing his own thing. So now
when he's using you.
Yeah. Now he wants to walk down the road without holding your hand. And you're just like, no, hold your hand. So like because we are on a cul-de-sac, it's quiet anyway, so we can walk down there and it's fine to just walk next to us. We just have to keep walking next to him. But when we've been to the parks and stuff, he's just wanted to go off on his own. He's just like, nah. So you just have to make him laugh, pick him up, play with him, or put him on my shoulders. That's probably why I got a bad back, actually. I've had him on my shoulders a lot yesterday. But yeah, it's just judging it each case as it comes and just see what works, really.
I suppose it's just different, innit? Because they're not already at the age yet where you can take things away from them and it's going to bother them, or they're going to understand on the reason why you're doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely not. So yeah, it's no point trying. It's a new battle for me.
I have to be a bit more creative with it.
I'll be like, oh, he's not doing it. Oh, so then it'll be me that felt like I got in trouble, and he'll be like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna get a snack.
Go on then. Have one of you, man, got one a stereotype to bring up?
Yeah, I had a stereotype, but obviously I don't even think it is a stereotype, to be fair. But I think Will just touched on it before. This whole dinner and tea business, like, for me, I'm saying that because obviously you Anton and Carlos, you both call it tea as well. So
No, I call it dinner, you know.
You call it tea, bro. I've heard you, both of you call it tea, man.
No, do you know what? Sorry, go on then. Go on, because I'm cutting you off.
My stereotype is obviously, like the white people I know, they call it tea, whereas obviously black people call it dinner, innit? So
yeah, but then do you know what I can say to that? I think that Laura, because even though Laura's mixed race, Laura's brought up in Hull. So me and Laura always have that conflict where I would say dinner and she would say tea in it.
It's not.
So
I think tea's more of a northern thing, but then again, where are you guys from? Manchester, are you?
Manchester.
Yeah.
Manchester.
Yeah, but you say dinner still.
Yeah, because it's breakfast. It's breakfast. No, because it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But seriously, that's why. Because I'll admit that I would say tea at times, and I know that's where it's from. It is from Laura, because Laura was brought up saying tea, and in Hull, which is a predominantly white city anyway, everyone here says tea. No, not many people will say dinner.
So then, when you're talking about what you've had for dinner, tea, what do you say? Oh, I'm having what you're having for tea.
No, I'll say what do you know what? If I'm honest, it depends on my audience, innit? On who I'm talking to.
So you change what it's called depending on your audience.
Yeah, so that it makes sense. And what I've noticed, and this isn't really just either I would say white or black thing. I would say this is just from the difference between Manchester and Hull. Because in Hull, some of the things that they'll come out with, it's like they got their own language at times. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's true though, it's mad because like even I remember when I first come down here and someone was trying to give me directions somewhere, and it was like, oh yeah, go down the 10-foot. And I was like, go down where? And he was like, go down the 10-foot. And I was like, what's 10 foot? And I went, do you mean the alleyway? And he was like, is that what you call it? It's a 10-foot. And I was like, well, why is that?
The alleyway?
Yeah.
Oh, when you're saying 10 foot, I thought they must have meant like a hill or something.
Yeah.
This is my point. But I said, why is it 10 foot? He said, because it's 10 feet wide.
Oh, right.
Is that universal?
Yeah, once it's not 10 foot wide, then what?
I don't know. But you would call it an alley as well, though, wouldn't you, Will?
Depends what you're talking about. Like the back of the buildings or the alleyway.
Yeah, or do you know like
alleyway?
Yeah,
alleyway.
the alleyway downside the houses, yeah. Like
down the back of houses, it's like alley or backsies or
yeah. Alley. That's what I'm talking about.
I've heard some people call it ginnel as well.
Ginnel. Yeah. But if they would have said to me, go down the ginnel, I would have understood what they were saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they were saying, go
10 foot.
They're saying, oh yeah, go down the 10 foot. So that's what I mean. It sometimes I think it's the area as well that you've brought up in, and I think Hull, they have some mad things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like they have their own slang for Hull, like a little slang book what you need to pick up on. So I think because I changed certain words that I would say then to suit them. So now, if I was to speak to somebody down here,
You call it a 10-foot.
yeah, I'll call it a 10-foot. Because if I say, oh, you go down the alley, they look at me strange, like, what's an alley? It's true, it's mad. But that's how they look at me. You're like, what do you wear?
So
And I go,
do you like, you know, in your like Hull Guardian or Hull Evening News, if you like that equivalent, do you get like trouble was caused, teens hanging around the 10-foot?
You know what? I can't lie, yeah. We've got the whole Daily Mail, and I've not read that once. So I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Got the whole Daily Mail, and obviously it's one of them online things. You get me? Whereas, yeah, that's not really me. If anything, it looks like from what I've seen on it, it looks like a paper version of Jeremy Kyle. You know what I mean? Just some weird shit gets put on there. Some weird moments. So yeah.
So about you, Jason? What do you call it?
Anyway, man, like
No. Dinner or tea there? Sorry, dinner or tea.
Oh, dinner or tea, bro? It's dinner, innit?
But what about Rebecca?
Rebecca, dinner or tea? Tea.
Tea.
Yeah.
Okay. So when
She's from Yorkshire, though, innit? So it don't really count.
But then do you change what you say when you're talking to her?
Yeah, because I want to be.
Accepted by your wife.
Basically, yeah. I want to be looked and accepted. So if I need to change it to tea, then I'll change it to tea. But yeah, it's dinner. It's dinner. It is dinner.
But initially, had you had that conversation with her? Like, this is a conversation what you guys would have, you know, when they're saying it's tea.
Yeah, of course it is. Me and Rebecca talk about the differences between Yorkshire and the colloquialisms between the two parts of where we come from very often. So she says tea, which is weird, but she calls lunch dinner, which is weird. But you know, listen, as a man, not even a black man, just as a man, I think it's important for us to get to a place where we love our women despite their flaws.
Did you say that's a flaw?
So if my wife uses tea instead of dinner, you know what, darling, I love you regardless. And what do you say? Tea cake. And she's trying now she's involved in the conversation.
Tea cake, you know.
Tea cake. So yeah, so
you're not about like an actual tea cake with fruit in it.
No. A balm in it.
A balm.
See, here we go. Oh,
Hey, balm. Do you know what's mad? See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, everyone here agrees with balm, yeah? Balm cake. Yeah? Whereas in Hull, I came down here and I went to the chip pit and asked for a chip balm, and they looked at me strange.
Yeah. Or do they call it a roll? Or?
No, they call it a bread cake.
A
bread cake.
That's the first time I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah. But then when I said, this is how they made me feel crazy, yeah? Because I went back to work and the office full of people, and I was like, they didn't understand me. What do you call? Don't you know about barn cakes? And I was going, what's a barn cake? So I explained it to them, and they said, no, it's a bread cake. So I was like, how's it a bread cake? And then they turned to me and said, how's it a barn cake? It doesn't even make sense. And then I was stuck.
And they've got you there, man. They've got you there.
I was stuck. I was like, well, actually, yeah. I was like,
should have just said a chip balm in it. When you say balm cake, it makes it sound weird, bro.
Nah, that's
yeah,
what
you're right, Jordash. You know why is man using his full fucking name?
No, that's what I just said. That's what I asked for. I asked for a chip balm in it.
Yeah,
I asked for a
chip
balm, and then they was like, they just looked at me strange, and they said, "What's that?" And I was like,
"Do they want a chip cake?"
No, so they would say,
"I wouldn't mind a chip cake." Still,
they would just say, "Oh, can I have chips? Can I have chips and the bread cake?"
Bread cake.
Bread cake.
And you're raising your kids in this society, Anton.
Yeah, so your kids gonna be calling it. They'll be calling it the same, innit? Because that'll be the norm for them, innit?
No, yeah, but then my kids, I tell them. No, so it's true. It's true because even like Will would know because he takes a mick out of Laura's accent all the time, like with the ers and the ner. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way that she talks. But then, like with Tyler, he will come past and he'll be saying something and be like, no. And I'll go, oh, no.
That sounds like Rebecca still.
No. And then Tyler, then he starts laughing. He goes, oh, yeah, that's what I said. I said, you didn't. You said, no. And he goes, I didn't. I said, oh, no. And I said, you didn't. You know what I mean? But because obviously I've got more of a Manc accent.
Yeah, you are very
Tyler
Manc.
has to a degree. Tyler would actually say it. Whereas with Layla, she's a lost cause in it. Layla just belongs to her. Like Tyler, because luckily when Tyler was learning how to speak and he first started coming out of his words, we lived in Manchester. We lived with my mum. So Tyler speaks. When he goes to school, everyone says that Tyler talks posh. And I say, he doesn't. He just pronounces his words correctly. Well, that's what they were saying in school. They say, oh, Tyler's posh because of our talks. And I'm like, he's not. And then they hear Layla. And obviously, Layla learned how to speak in Hull. So Layla's just a proper little Hull girl with how she comes out with her words and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So I've got that contrast just in my house. Me and Tyler sort of talk properly. And then them two sound mad.
It's a bad accent, that.
Bad accent.
It's bad, isn't it? It's like a toss up between that and Scouse, isn't it? You know, it's
See, now I like Laura's accent, obviously, because she's my missus. So I'm just used to it. Like, to be honest, but I probably look at it instead of being like, oh, it's bad. I find it cute now. Do you know, like certain things that she'll come out with will entertain me more than anything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that is a good one, though, that dash. It is. So, hey, Will, what do you call lunch then?
it's breakfast, dinner, tea.
So you don't have lunch?
No, lunch is just like lunch is a time when you have your dinner. It is, isn't it?
Well, you know what then?
Like,
I'm actually backing you.
What do you have for tea time then? What do you have at tea time? You don't eat, do you?
I'm a dinner.
Or what do you have after your dinner though?
Pudding?
Nah,
This is it,
it's
isn't it?
breakfast, dinner, tea.
Nah, man. And on everything, when you look on anything or just international, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
So
it's lunchtime, isn't it? Like,
otherwise, brunch wouldn't even be a thing.
yeah, serious.
I've never had a brunch. I've had a Brenner.
You're lying. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Brinner. That's mad, that.
Yeah, so that is I would say that's probably the first stereotype then, because that is a sort of stereotype that we've got where it's actually is probably a bona fide one.
Yeah.
Well, let's
I'd
mix
say-
it up.
What I will say though is down south they do use dinner.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
down
yeah,
south they yeah. I
All
think
right.
it's more of a northern thing. But if you went down like our friends from down like Surrey and all that, it's all dinner.
Yeah,
Lunch. Yeah.
yeah, because they talk properly down there, I suppose.
No. It'd be like.
So if it's a southern thing and that's what the Queen says, then boy, these are
It
all
must
wrong.
be
innit?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen's English and all them things.
Oh, I did tell you I was brought up in a rough area, so sometimes it took to me get 14, even though there was a dinner in the middle of the day.
Go on then. One of you's got one.
Yeah, I think if anyone says to me what's a stereotype about a black man, it's big lash in it. That's it, big penis. That's the first thing that comes to mind, isn't it?
Will, on behalf of all black men, I'd like to say that is fact. Mine is, and I can only speak for my own, but my own is.
Oh, you're speaking for all black men a second ago.
Probably that long.
That looks about 3 centimeters on my
No,
screen.
pass into my head. Yeah, no, I think it's. I think that's probably one of the most bona fide stereotypes that there are. To be fair, that all black men have huge penises. Not that I've seen many black penises, but or that I sit here imagining how, you know what, listen, Aaron, cut this out, please. Aaron, cut all this penis talk out, bro. I'm just making myself sound so...
Don't cut it.
Let's start again, yeah, from now. Funny you should mention that, Will. I can only speak for myself. And as far as that stereotype goes, speaking about me personally, young Idris, yeah, that's fact for me. For me, I can't speak on any other black men.
And then I was just saying about other people, because you were shy, because at first you was all excited saying, oh yeah, all black men are hung and like, you know what, all black men's things. And then I'm just saying, yeah, where you can find this information out. So look on black, isn't it?
What you're saying, okay, so Anton, let's break this down. To back up Will's point that all black men are blessed with huge penises, you're sending the fans, the viewers, to Pornhub to watch black porn, basically.
If that's what they want to see, then that's what they want to see. If they don't see, then boom, don't click on the thing, innit?
But when you also argue, I'm only playing devil's advocate here, that a site like a company like Blacked only employ black men with a specific length of penis.
Yes, and judging from your point, you would definitely get a job.
Guys,
I mean,
guys, I've got another browser open here, and this looks like GBH. It's pretty explicit, man. It's pretty explicit. Why is he punching her?
I mean, it gets like that sometimes.
Why are you punching her? He's meant to be your stepsister.
Fuck's sakes, man. This is all Anton's fault, man.
No, I don't know what punching you put in. I don't know what you're watching.
You know what he's saying, Anton? He's saying because the penis of the porn that he's watching is so big that it resembles an arm.
Yeah.
Anton, you would know if you were also blessed. So
oh yeah, sorry, because of yours.
Well, Anton, listen, yeah. Have you ever heard, as a girl ever said to you that the size isn't important?
No.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, sorry. Did you want me to say yes then?
No, because I've never heard it either, bro. But I'm sure you have.
Right? How do you know about my things?
Yo, listen, yeah, Anton, real talk. One last question. I'll shut up. Yo, has a girl ever referred to you as strong in the dick department?
Apparently, he did 3 lengths.
Oh my god!
Yes, actually, yeah.
Fucking hell, bro. In that case, then Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Thank you for that, Laura.
Well, going back to that, yeah, he said, yeah, he's not marathon. He's quite a sprint in it. He's like,
Anton's in there for a good 13 seconds, innit?
Nice. Is 13 seconds a sprint? Yeah.
Well, yes, 100-meter sprint, innit, bro? 10 seconds, 9 seconds.
So what's a marathon then?
Good couple hours, bro.
Nah, see, you're lying because no man, right? Honestly, is gonna go there for a couple of hours. So don't try and make out like you're some sort of.
I never said me. I never once said me, bro. You're the one saying you've got 2-3 lengths. You said to us, you said to us facts at the start of the podcast. You went, my name is Anton. Man, them call me 3-stroke. If my life depends on it, 4. Now, to me, a man having 3 strokes is just wild, bro. I can't relate. I'm sorry.
Honestly, nah, I don't think I could relate to I don't think I could live with myself if I was 3 strokes, but it is what it is.
Strokes,
You get
bro.
me?
That's mad.
I'll let you settle with that in your mind if that's what you want, Jason. You get me?
I mean, I mean, how many strokes you have or don't have, Anthony, is absolutely
You're the one going on about it, bro.
Nah, I don't mind. Bro. As long as your missus is satisfied, bro, that's all that matters.
Yeah, 100, 100.
All that matters, fam. So whatever you guys are doing, as long as it works for you guys, you get me. Who the hell am I to judge?
Thank you.
Will, on the covert side of it, have you seen many white penises?
Millions.
And
I think I can speak on behalf of all white men when I say all of ours are small. I definitely like Anton for protection in the bedroom. I take some armbands. Nah. No, I can't really say that I've indulged myself in many looking at many white penises.
Yeah, so we'll never know. We'll never know
on that one then.
We'll never know.
Have we got one more?
There's going to be anomalies amongst every race, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's going to be, if we're just being, scientific about it, it's going to be white guys with, 19 inches, and there's going to be black guys, little winkies, little 3 strokes. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's
It is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. All right, go on then. Have we got one more stereotype before we wrap up?
Funerals and stuff. I remember that. Like obviously black people's funerals, our funerals are like massive in it, like the whole world, even family wise, like black people's families are massive, and then in my eyes, white people they only consider their cousins as their like first cousins or something like that. Whereas we have like 1 million cousins, if you know what I mean. That's another stereotype, isn't it?
So you mean like your second and third cousins are just cousins?
Just cousins.
Yeah.
Cousins.
Even your friends are cousins sometimes. Like you're not even sure how you actually related, but you're always my cousin.
Yeah.
Trust me, and your mum and dad will be like, "Yeah, this is your auntie and uncle," and you're looking at them thinking,
"Well, we used to get that as kids, like it's your auntie's here," but don't so much happen nowadays. I wouldn't ever go to one of my kids like, "Oh, here's your Uncle Anton," or here's your uncle whoever. Do you know what I mean? I'd never ever do that nowadays. In fact, the weird thing is, like when I was growing up, I used to like say, "Oh, me Auntie Jane" or "me Auntie Marion." I go, "Hi, Auntie Jane, hi, Auntie Marion." Do you know what I mean? But my kids now, to my sisters and brothers, are like, "Oh, are you okay, Natalie? You okay, Oliver?" Do you know what I mean? It's first name terms and that, and it kind of, I don't know if I feel uneasy about it or not, or whether they should be saying, "Oh, here's your Auntie Beth," or "Here's your," do you know what I mean? But they don't. They're just first name terms.
To me, I think it just all depends on the person who, like, say, if I'm the uncle, and if I want my niece and nephews to call me uncle, then that's up to me. But if I don't want them to, then I'm not really too fussed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's where it all lies. But I wouldn't say with my friends, I wouldn't make my kids like call them uncle or aunt if they didn't want to, if you know what I mean. Even if they wanted to, then I'd be like, okay, if you really want to, if it means that much to you, if you want to be called uncle by someone who's not even related to you, then that's up to you, isn't
it? But you get blocked.
I think I've got a lot of people who I call auntie and uncle, but it's out of respect, innit? Like, so a lot of them are older than, well, all of them are older than me. All of them are black. All of them are usually from church. So it's just a respect thing, innit? Like, even for example, my best friend's dad, like Craig, I'll call his mum auntie and uncle, but that's just out of respect, innit? But to add on to Jordash's point, I've got a nephew who's the exact same age as me, And if that man wants to talk to me, he has to call me uncle. Facts. I'm not even joking, and that's just more just being on a power trip than anything else.
Yeah, so if you would have been on that power trip from earlier, the fact that you know you're the uncle, you have to let it be known, didn't it?
That was just a power trip. I mean, my other nephews and nieces call me uncle, and they call Becky auntie, and I would expect my children to call anybody who I considered a brother auntie and uncle, just out of respect in it. If they get to like big man and they decide I'm dropping auntie and uncle, then different story. But I would like it at the start, for example, when I have a you and they meet you man, for example, I'll be like auntie or uncle, just out of respect.
Meet you man. We're gonna be like,
oh yeah, auntie.
Now when they meet you man, I would expect, I don't know, just out of respect. But then again, to be fair, I am 100% old school in that respect, and I appreciate that it is old school, but it's just how I was raised, and I don't really see any harm in it. Becky, on the other hand, my wife, is completely opposite. Like, she doesn't call her aunties and uncles, auntie and uncles. Do you know what I mean? Or friends in the family is even weirder. Like they don't. She doesn't do that, but I don't know. I don't see any harm in it, to be fair.
No, I get that. Like my kids, they'll call my siblings uncle, auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then out of that, really, I suppose then the only person that did go and they say uncle off and on to would be Aaron.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
And that will be it. Like obviously they'll be like, yeah, well, you're my cousin, so they'll just see you as cousins rather than uncle. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas with Aaron, I think because obviously he's one of my best friends with him, it's like it's uncle, innit?
Yeah.
So, but then the kids won't always say that. Like, if they're talking to me about him, so that I know who they're talking about, 9 times out of 10 they'll go, "Oh yeah, Uncle Aaron."
Uncle, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then I suppose then we wouldn't say that every time with the scene. They'll probably go, "Oh hi Aaron." They'll need that. They have to go, "Hi Uncle Aaron." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How they would perceive him. So yeah, but I get what you're saying because it is that respect thing, innit? But even like, it's just that respect thing, I suppose. But yeah, we don't really use it anymore.
No, it is old school. It's definitely is old school. Like even your parents, Carlos, I'd call your mother absolutely. I'd say auntie, 100%.
Your mum, I do. Actually, thinking about it, I didn't even think of that before because I actually thought it's only my aunties, but with it depends who you're with. So.
Yeah.
See, I respect, like with my friends, I just call them by their titles and obviously their surname. I'll be like, okay, good evening, Mr. And then whatever the surname is, or Mrs., whatever the surname. That's what I do out of respect. If the older than me, I wouldn't necessarily call them. And obviously, it's choice of like obviously
how you show.
Do, but but that's how I normally like refer to like the elders.
But what's mad is
that's exactly how I would as well. That's exactly what I do, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, Mr.
Yeah.
But what's mad, Carl Jordan? For some reason in my head, I recall you calling my mum auntie at times, Auntie Karen, but then my dad, you would never call him Uncle J-Mo.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
and then that happens, and that's the one I'm just thinking about for your dad.
Yeah, because when I think back, like, that sounds you said, oh yeah, Auntie Karen, but then you'll go J-Mo.
Yeah.
But then that's what I'm saying. It's just like how you know them.
Yeah, it's just how you know them, innit?
Like, but if I was speaking across to someone else, I would actually refer like the majority of my like aunties and whatnot. I'll probably say, yeah, this is my auntie, my uncle, but I'll say like Uncle J-Mo or something along those lines for referring it to someone else. But then if you start actually speaking to them, it's like, all right, just go to the names. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how often do you really use people's names? Do you know what I mean? Because more time, if you're speaking to someone, you're already
just talking to them.
It's the point of introduction, because that reminds me now when I was introducing Laura to your parents, Anton.
Yeah,
it was mad because I was like, how do I introduce them? I had to actually sit and think about it. And then I call your dad JMO. So I said that to him. But then I was like, I should have said Tony, because that sits better. And it makes more sense.
It makes more sense, yeah.
And then Laura's mum and dad then were a bit, what's he called? It's that. And then obviously they speak to each other a lot. So then it's like, oh, Tony and Karen now. And they're like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why I said that to you. That's how I know him. That's not how I should have introduced and said for you. But yeah, it depends who you're with and the as to the context that you choose.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, then let's wrap it up then. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and especially to you, Will. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Nice, guys. Thanks for having me.
Nah, anytime, we appreciate it, and it's just good, really, just getting a different perspective as well. You know what I mean? So obviously, you'd be welcome back anytime, just to add it. And I think one of the reasons for the pod as well, why we started it, was just to say that black dads are the same as all dads. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like this episode really touched on that as well, where we have actually got more similarities than what society would let believe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, all the same, really, white and black, apart from you get dinner and tea mixed up a bit, don't you? But apart from that, you know, basically, we're doing all right.
I agree.
So we've kind of established that we you know, we get that different. We can all swim apart from Anton.
Yeah, Anton. Anton can't.
I can swim, guys. Trust me, I can swim. I'll be live, you know.
We all beat our kids. No. Yeah. That'll be nice, all right.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it, guys.
Special thanks to Will.
Man, love.
And yeah, you've been here with myself, Anton.
And it's me, Dash, my son's favorite dad.
And it's me, Carlos. Thank you for listening to the end, guys.
Yeah, and if you're still rocking with us, you know who it is. It's your boy, Young Idris. We love and appreciate your support. And I apologize sincerely for Anton sending you to go and check out some porn. Don't go and watch it. Not on a Sunday anyway, man. Come on.
Well, yeah, don't go and watch it, or go and watch it and then thank me if you want to. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's up to you.
So is that what you're into, though, Anton? Is that what you're into?
Do what you're doing.
When Laura's out of the house, that's what you're running.
Do you know what I thought you was going to apologise for?
For what, bro? Last week?
Nah.
What? The other week? Your hairline?
Guys, to save all of you as looking it up anyway, I can tell you that it ends in a leaving in an ambulance. She's just gone now. The blues and Susie fucker.
Oh man.
Oh, fucking hell. But I thought he just was apologising for constantly his internet connection.
And listen, that's that. So listen, guys. Okay, so I apologise that my internet was going
We already know the reason why we had that discussion.
Ups and downs. It's because I had the porn on in the background buffering.
No, that wasn't the reason.
What was the reason then, bro?
Becky switched your internet off because you misbehaved. You didn't finish all your dinner.
You got me. Yeah, you got me. Becky switched the internet off, so she come in, give me 2 licks, and then does again. But yeah, no, apologies.
No problem.
Nice, sweet. And thank you again, one last time, Will. Sorry,
yeah, thank you, Will. Thank you.
No worries, guys.
All right, then. Take it easy, guys.
All right, peace.